Welcome. In today's devotional, following Holy Week and Easter, we'll be sharing what it means as Christians to have the power to live a victorious life. Now, I'd like to focus on two words from that statement, the word power and the word victorious. What does it mean to have power? Well, it means to have the ability and energy to accomplish something. And to be victorious is to be triumphant, successful, or to have conquered something. So to have the power to live a victorious life means to have the ability and energy to experience triumph, success, and to conquer life's obstacles. Now, this certainly is appealing to all of us, but is it really attainable? Listen to the words of the Apostle Paul. I have the strength to face all conditions by the power that Christ gives me. That's Philippians 4:13 in the Good News Translation. Paul also wrote to the church at Ephesus and explained that this power is the same power that raised Christ from the dead and seated him at God's right hand. That is the power we've been given in Christ. And if we appropriate it through faith and action, like Paul, we too can face all conditions and be triumphant. Jesus said that he was the light of the world, and that whoever would follow him would have a life filled with light and would never live in the dark. To live in the light is often thought of in other terms, such as seeing clearly, or having freedom, hopefulness, or confidence. To live in darkness brings up thoughts of gloom or evil, confusion, depression. As followers of Jesus, we never have to live in the dark because we have a life filled with light. Yet there are times, and perhaps like the present, where we may feel like we're walking in the dark when things are difficult and we don't understand how there could be anything of light in what we're currently facing. Many of God's people have had this same experience. I'm thinking of Abraham, Joseph, Job. But most notably, this is what Jesus' disciples must have felt when he was so brutally taken from them in crucifixion. Where is the God of light in this very dark time, they must have thought. They had forgotten what Jesus had told them earlier when he said, my Father is always at work. You see, the Father of light is always at work in the dark circumstances of our lives. So yes, we can live a victorious life filled with light because the Father is always working on our behalf, bringing us into victory in his Son, Jesus Christ. In closing, I'd like to share a poem that I hope encourages and strengthens you to live a victorious life as you rely upon the Father of light. Even in darkness, his light ever shined, so bright none could see, hearts darkened and blind. Eyes dimmed and downcast could surely not hark that the Father of light was at work in the dark. With painful cries from a heart beyond broken, the light of the world in darkness had spoken. To death and to hell that all would be well, his suffering stark had hit the right mark. The Father of light was at work in the dark. Abandoned, forsaken, his life had been taken, though all appeared lost and at such a great cost. 'Twas just the beginning, for all a new start. The Father of light was at work in the dark. He gave up his spirit when keep it he could. Not once did he waver, though any man would. And when the earth shook and rocks split in two, when graves were left empty and the curtain pierced through, now witnessed by many, a glow in the dark, an ember was burning, a true divine spark. The Father of light was at work in the dark. He became sin, our righteousness make. Hung on a tree, our death he did take. Our sickness and sorrows he bore on his back. Pierced, crushed, forsaken, for all that we lacked. Scorned for our peace, he completed his call. The Lord laid on him the debt of us all. But from the beginning, God's plan was in place that from his own Son would he turn his face, so he could restore and repeal the fall that hindered his children from heeding the call. You see, in the Father of light, there is no darkness at all.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. Worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. Worship you. You are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. Never stop. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working.